Your new chairman, Mr. Tanner Johnson. How is everybody tonight?
Good.
Good. Well, as you've all witnessed firsthand, my sister Tara got all the speaking skills in the family, so I'll keep this pretty short and sweet. I'm supposed to start with a joke, so I'm going to lay a joke on you here to see what Kathy thinks about this. But so there's a bartender at a bar. In the bar walks a duck. Duck hops up on the bar, sits there, asks the bartender, "You got a pickle?" Bartender says, "No, duck, we don't have any pickles. We don't serve ducks. Now, just get out of here." Duck jumps down, waddles out of the bar. Next day, duck waddles back into the bar, jumps up on the bar. "Got a pickle?" "Duck, I told you yesterday we don't have any pickles. And if you come back and ask that again, I'm going to nail your flipper to the bar." So the duck jumps down, waddles out. Next day, duck waddles back into the bar, jumps up on the bar. "Got any nails?" "No." "Got a pickle?" And those are jokes. Those are the jokes. So to start with a few people whom I want to thank, and first and foremost is my wife Kathy and my business partner at the bank, and my son Sam and my daughter Ella. Without them, this whole thing would fall apart pretty quickly, and it's been really cool this summer. The four of us are all working in the bank together, so it's neat to have some fifth generation bankers that are getting started with us in the family business. So thank you guys for everything that you do for me and for making all this possible. There's so many people in CBAK that make this possible, but I want to give a special thank you to Joe for serving as our chairman for the last couple years. He did a really good job for us. I want to thank Stephen Solentrope for agreeing to serve as the incoming chair, and everyone in the audience that's serving on the committee for CBAK or for our national affiliate, ICBA. The work you do is seen and it's appreciated. And last but not least, a big thank you to Sean and Nikki and Ivana for all the work that you guys do advocating for our industry through CBAK. My first CBA conference was in probably 2012, I think. And that's when my dad, Mike, who a lot of you knew in this room, began handing off what I call handing off his banking relationships to me. And he did a very amazing job at doing that. And at the time, I really didn't realize how important that was going to become in my life. And as an example, I remember Sean sometime, back then asking if Kathy and I were going to attend the CBAK educational trip, and kind of had a smart crack about, something along the lines of, "Sean, if I'm going on vacation, it's not going to be with a bunch of bankers." Right now. And it's just kind of how I felt about it at the time, but those feelings have really changed as I've continued to develop my relationships with everyone in this room. I was at a Goose show, who's one of my favorite bands in the world, Honk Honk. And it was last month in St. Louis, and I was there with 6 of my best, just lifelong friends, and we're standing on the floor waiting for the second set of the concert to start. And this guy, probably 6'4", skinny, 75 years old, just an old deadhead, comes up, stands behind us and says, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna stand here by you. I like your tribe, man." And I thought that was the coolest thing. And in preparing my remarks for this evening, it dawned out on me that this is my tribe of bankers in this room. Everybody in this room has really become my tribe, and it's the colleagues and the friends. The people in this room are here to support you personally, they're here to support you professionally, and that's what CBAK is really all about. Because let's face it, what we do isn't easy. You're in one of the most regulated industries in the history of planet Earth. And you're counselors and life coaches to your customers and your employees, and sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. But it has to be done because first and foremost, your banks have to continue working for your communities. And that's where CBAK is here to support you, to let you know that you aren't in this alone. And if you have a question or you have a problem, there's someone in this room that is either there with you or has been in that position before. And we're truly all in this together, and I think we're all truly blessed to have each other as an association, and as friends, and as affiliates. Before I move on, I wish you could have seen this deadhead whenever Goose played Mississippi Half-Step Toodly-Doo, which was one of his favorite Grateful Dead songs, and man, he was just over the moon excited to hear that come on. And our industry does matter, and what everyone in this room does to support that industry matters. As an example, when Sean was going through the pre-conference meeting on Monday, the manager of the property here, a guy by the name of Joey Tebow, who went to Pike Valley, which is where I went to school at, noticed that I was here with the Swedish-American State Bank. And then went on to recount to Sean how my granddad and my dad loaned him the money for the first car that he ever bought. And then loaned him money for something else that they probably shouldn't have loaned him money for. And I know for the people in this room, that's not a new story to you. Because that's part of what we do, is we serve our communities, we take chances on people, and we take risks in our town to support the local, economy and everything that goes along with that. And there's really, what I've identified as two things that must exist for towns like Portland to exist. They have to have a local school, and they have to have a local bank. Without the local school, young families aren't going to move back to raise their children in that community. Without the local bank, there's not going to be the capital that's required to make the local economy work. So I'd like to invite all of you to visit our little town of Portland. It's a cool little place. Every building on Main Street has an active business. There's people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s starting new businesses. And we have the youngest, smartest team of bankers in the state of Kansas helping Kathy and I run this bank, carry on the family business. I'd like to encourage everyone to become more active in CBAK and the opportunities that ICBA, offers to you and your teams. There's Kansas bankers at all the national ICBA events, and especially if you haven't been to the Washington, D.C. Summit, I would encourage you to attend that, or to take some of your team and to attend that with you, because that's the one conference that really helped me see the bigger picture in what community banking is. It's not just you in your little town trying to slog it out. There's a whole industry that relies on banks like ours and the things that we do to make these towns run like they need to run. So it's an honor to be asked to represent the industry for CBAK and for Kansas, and I look forward to serving you as chairman and leading this crazy tribe of interesting, funny, and wonderful bankers for the next 2 years. That's enough for me.